Hey. Let me know if it's working. What's up, Dan? Let me know if you guys can hear me, and we'll get started here with the live stream. A little bit new mic setup, so hopefully it's not too echoey. You guys can see I got some like foam on the back walls here. It's I don't know if you can see if I swing over here, you can see there's a little bit of foam there. I did that because the printers are really loud. Plus, when I was doing voiceover, it was just echoing like crazy. So hopefully that turns out good. Let me know if you can hear me or not. We'll kind of get this show started. And yeah, so it's been a while. Let me pull up the other chat. Actually, I remember doing this last time. It's been like what, a year since I've done a live stream, something crazy like that. Not counting the veterans giveaway. It's been quite a while since I've done one. So we'll see who comes in, see if notifications go out. I didn't get anything yet, and then we'll just go from there. So good, sounds good. Hey, appreciate that, Tyler. So yeah, live stream. Welcome back. So first of all, we'll talk about kind of why I started doing live streams again, and we'll talk about our usual Q&A. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. This used to be a weekly live stream, and it's actually going to start up again. My schedule has changed. It used to be Sundays. Now it's going to be Wednesday around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, depending on when I get out of training. But I'll make sure you guys have the notification for that. So basically, yeah, my schedule changed, so I wasn't able to do live streams for a long time there. Figured I'd bring them back. It's kind of a cool place to hang out. We can chit chat. What's up, Will? What's up, Gabe? It's been a while. You still do streams? Yeah, I do them sometimes. Like I said, I guess I can look and see when the last time was. But yeah, so I got a different camera. It kind of like follows me around. It's kind of cool. Mic setup's a little bit different. We can hopefully cut back on some of the echoing, so hopefully it's a little bit better. And I did that primarily for videos in the future. But yeah, so hey, what's up, RG Reef? Appreciate you. I did. Listen, I'll just give you guys a download on kind of like where I've been over the last month or so. You guys know I've been creating content for since 2016, something like that, and I've never taken off this long before. It's only been probably a month and a half. I think the third, yeah, about a month, right? So basically, as you guys know, I've been dealing with like a custody battle with my kids for the last 3 years. So I had all that stuff I had to take care of. Then I got sick for the first time in the last, I don't know, like 8 months or so. So I was out for 2 weeks. So it was just a combining a couple different things. So either way, feeling better pretty much, and I'm back, and now we have a new schedule and live streams are here. So that pretty much sums up everything. Hopefully this will stay. Don't really like the mount there, but it'll work out. So basically, live stream is pretty simple. We can do Q&A. We can have a topic. We can chit chat about pretty much anything. We're gonna have some cats in here. This is Oreo. That's Wiggles. I mean, that's the cat stand. She's a little overweight for that, so they'll probably be messing around in here. But so if you have any questions regarding reef tanks, personal BJJ, anything like that, you can put them in there. Or I'll just I have a topic backed up, so we can always talk about that. I definitely want to talk about salt today. The price of salt in particular, because I just bought one today and I was kind of irritated by it. So if you guys have some questions, feel free to put them in. If you have anything you want to say, go ahead, and if not, then we'll just do the topic there. The other chat is up, and I appreciate Jeffries for the new membership. Appreciate that. Now I got a couple questions about the membership on under a video I think earlier last month, and I figured I'd mention it now. The member stuff isn't what it was before. I know a lot of people have like 7 or 8 different tiers and all this crazy stuff that they offer. I don't do that because I don't want to promise you guys something that I can't do. And just because of how busy things are, I don't want to say, hey, there's like a daily Q&A or anything like that. So my members is pretty simple. It's like $1. I think you get a bunch of emojis. It's like $1 a month. And then you get added to the end screen. There's like a scrolling credit at the end of all my videos. And I update that every couple weeks. So it just, whatever new members come in, I update it. So yeah. What's up, Twins Reef? How's everyone? I have a couple questions. Yeah, feel free to put them in. While you're doing that, I'll kind of chit chat about my event today. So I bought a box of Fritz Blue Box, and I don't know what salt you guys use. Feel free to let me know. And if you notice the price have gone up, so I buy a box of salt probably every 2 months, maybe 3 months, depending on like kind of how much coral I'm shipping, because I do a bi-weekly water change of about 30 gallons. And with shipping coral, of course, we have to bring that water back. That water has to be salt water. So anyways, so it's about every 2 months, 2.5 months that I buy a box. Now, I remember at Fritz, like 4 years ago, I was buying it locally for like $35. It went up to like $55, $65. Bought one yesterday for $85 for a box of salt. So At the same time I was about to purchase this, I was like, maybe I should buy reef crystals. So I think I'm gonna do a video on that. If you guys, or maybe a poll even at that, like just trying to get some. I'm really thinking about going back to reef crystals just because you can buy 180 gallons of that stuff for half the price, literally half the price as the blue box. Now, of course, there are extra things in the blue box, the higher potassium, all that good stuff. But is that really worth the double the price? Seriously, it's double the price than reef crystals. It's insane. I don't know, man. Like I understand that the economy's kind of taking a shit and people are everything's getting inflated, but really double the price. That's it's nuts. So, yep. What's up, Gabe? I'll get touch back on that a little bit. I want to catch up on these real quick. What's up, guys? Appreciate you being here. Have a couple questions. Can two AI Hydras 32s grow SPS? Yes, they can. I've seen people grow SPS on there. I've seen people grow SPS on like the shipbox SP reflights. If you've been here for a while, I think yes, I had the Aqua Mars or Mars Aqua, whatever that is. I had that on the old 125, and then we went to SB reflights, and that worked. And I've seen people grow it on the Hydras as well. So I think if you keep your water parameters stable and you're consistent with your alkalinity, I think if you can still provide that blue spectrum for the majority of the blue spectrum, I think you're going to be fine. I don't think you need to have anything crazy. Yeah, this is an old video. Yeah. Well, the tank is growing out pretty good now. It's growing out pretty good. It's you guys will have an update video on that as well. I got a little pale. I will admit some of my corals are kind of pale right now because sometimes I get lazy and sometimes I just I go, oh, that looks good when it comes to dosing nitrates and phosphates. One of those numbers, and yeah, sometimes you really piss off corals in that process. What size tank is this? This is the 300. The video, is that what you're talking about? I'm trying to see where that. Oh yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, I have the 300. And then yeah, the twins. Yeah, what size tank do you have for that? I'm gonna scroll down. So give me a second. For the Hydra 32s, let me look them up and see if they have anything. Had they updated that at all? 13 lights. See if they updated it at all. What's the price point? That's actually, I'm surprised. They're like they look like a knockup of the Radions. I don't know if that's a nice thing to say, but that's kind of what they look like. It's still pricey though. Damn. So you get 2 pucks for that. Same. Doesn't say. Man, $429. It's crazy. But let's see if you mentioned the tank size here. Big Bertha has been rehomed. Yes, Big Bertha. She was rehomed what, a year ago, maybe something like that, almost a year ago. Yeah, I guess she's doing pretty good. I'll have to get an update on her for you guys. Let's see here. On the Red Sea Reefer 300, it's on a Red Sea Reefer 300. Also, if you could, what product would you buy? Radiant XR15 or Hydra 32s? Well, I've been really successful with the Radions. I've never used the Hydras before, so I don't really have an opinion on it. They look like XR30 just for the puck layout there. Obviously, the XR15 has the single puck, but yeah, as you guys know, I actually got rid of my Radions and I went to Kessel. So if you guys haven't seen those videos yet on the 300, let's see here. Let me pull that. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you should be good with 2. Let me pull up. Let me just double check the dimensions on the Red Sea Reefer 300 since I haven't had one of those. Double check the dimensions. I'll let you know. Let me see it. That's a pretty sleek looking tank, man. Now, when you bought this, did it come with? Are you getting the whole setup? Like you're getting the stand as well? Does it come with the filtration, all that? Pretty good price point on there too. So 65. So is it the XL? So 65 gallons. So yeah. So if that's what that is, if that's 65 gallons with the Red Sea, then yeah, you're gonna be fine with 2 of those. That'll be more than enough. I think you'll be fine. Salt is salt. Yeah, Gabe, I agree with you, man. Salt is salt. So I just got this new box coming in. It'll be here tomorrow. I'll use up that for the next 2 months, and then I will most likely transition to Instant Ocean. If you guys remember, I did have reef crystals for a long time, and then on the 125 at least. And then what happened was I got a couple weird batches. I wouldn't say they're bad batches, but the magnesium was like over 2,000 parts per million, wiped out all my snails, and it was just a huge pain getting that down. I didn't really have any issues with coral. It's just that the magnesium went through the roof. So I feel a little iffy with reef crystals just because of my last experience with that wasn't the greatest. But I haven't used Instant Ocean since my very first tank. I think, yeah, my very first tank, I bought the bag of Instant Ocean when I set up a little 25 gallon. And I think that was the last time I used it. So basically, because I've been using Blue Box for so long, it's been really consistent, having any issues. If I do decide to go over to Reef Crystals or even Instant Ocean, I think what I'll do is I will mix up every batch. Like the very first batch, I'll test that for, the usual potassium, calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, just to make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary, which I haven't been doing with the Blue Box just because it's always been consistent for me. But I do recommend that you actually do always test the first batch just because you never know. You might get something a little weird. So let's see what else we got here. Moving down. So I know that the layout here, you guys aren't seeing the bottom screen, but I got to at least read the question. So also the current MP40 and Gyre style pumps like Nero Orbit or even Nero 5. Again, this equipment would be for a Red Sea reefer. So I'm a big fan of the MP40s. I have 4 of them in 300, and they move a ton of water. So you would probably get away with maybe one on each side of that 60-gallon tank. I think you'd be fine with that. And gyres, I did use them for a little bit, but I don't like that humming sound. Even down here in the fish room, and I have the printers and just the sump in general, I don't like that humming sound that it makes. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah. So if it was me, I would just get 2 MP40s and call it a day. If you want to get fancy, maybe put a gyre on the back wall. And then if you want to save some money, you can do the Nero 5s. I think, do they have a Nero 7 now? I thought they had a bigger one of the Nero 5s. But as long as the magnet will fit, you should be fine with Nero 5s as well, depending on what your budget is there. Because there is a pretty big difference between Nero 5 and an MP40 price-wise. So I've heard Instant Ocean and Reef Crystals is also going map pricing, so they might increase. I know you can still find it for cheaper than others. Yeah, not really a fan of the salt stuff. It's kind of like, I don't know. I try not to take it personal because, again, I know I'm not in their shoes, so I don't know exactly, their distribution issues, or maybe they're having a problem getting salt or getting the minerals or something. I don't really know, so I don't try to judge companies too much. But it literally has doubled in price. I mean, $84 for a box of salt. I mean, it's cool if you have like a 25-gallon or a 30-gallon tank or one of those little bio cubes or whatever, and you're doing a 10% bi-weekly. That one box of salt will last you 6 months, 7 months, stuff like that. But for us who have the larger tanks and systems, and by the way, I got rid of the 40 breeder. You guys will see that soon. So now I just have the 300 and the 2 low boys. But the reality is even if I'm doing 30 gallons a week, that just burns through it quickly. And then you add when, obviously shipping coral. So say I ship out 100 frags in a couple of days, I got to replace that. Each frag gets 8 ounces of water. So that, of course, adds up. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little weird about it. I just don't like spending $84 for a box of salt. I'm not trying to be cheap. I just don't. It just doesn't sit right. Let's see here. Let's go down here. Sorry, I lost where I was. This is why I try to keep track. What would be a good group of corals for a new person transitioning from freshwater side? So, well, it really comes down to what you like what kind of fits your personality, Jeffries. But I guess an overall easy corals to kind of start with would be your LPS. So people who like the frog spawn, the torches, the hammers, they're a little pricey depending on what kind you're getting. So, but those are relatively easy to take care of. Of course, zoas, mushrooms, leather corals, all those things are pretty hardy. If you want to move into something easier SPS wise, bird's nest is always super popular. Stylophoras, montiporas, all those things are pretty good. I'd probably stay away from acroporas, staghorns, at least for now, and torts. Staghorn, part of the Acropora family there. So I'd stay away for those just for right now, because you don't really, I mean, if you're just starting out and you're dealing with fluctuations with keeping your alkalinity stable, just the basic things that we struggle with in the very beginning, you probably don't want to dump a bunch of money on SPS right now. So if I were you, get a bunch of like mushrooms that you like. I mean, there's people who have entire tanks designated to just mushrooms in general. So if that's what you like, if you like LPS, I know I'm a big frog spawn and I really like torches. I have a couple in the 300 now, so I like that kind of stuff. So it just kind of depends on what you like. but I would stay away from the acros and the torts for now. Everything else is pretty, pretty fair game for you. I lost where I was again. Give me a second here. Twins. Okay, here we go. Thanks for the answering my questions. And I bought the G2 before they added the ATO. Price was 2,100. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, now of course you're gonna like an Apex or whatever else you want to add to it as well. So it might be what, a $3,000 system after that, maybe $3,500, which is still isn't too bad. If you trust someone's tank, would you use their trash water for your water changes? Then when starting up, let me read that again. If you trust someone's tank, would you use their trash water for your water changes when starting up a tank? Of course. I've done that here. Like when I had saltwater in the kitchen, I would use the water change water from the 300 because it had all of the had all the trace elements. It had the dosing from the calcium reactor. It was all good to go, and I just used that in that tank. And also I was struggling with keeping my nutrients up in that tank, so it worked out well because I was pulling out nutrients from the 300, put them into my nano tank, and it worked out great. So if you're just starting up, that's actually pretty good if you trust the tank. Yeah, I would definitely do that because you're going to get all that beneficial bacteria, all that good stuff. Let's see here. Red Sea Gyre makes no sound. Okay, good to go. Hello. I'm just going through the questions here, guys. Give me a second. When adding tanks, should I add the small ones first to the tank, then the bigger ones, or then the bigger one, or should I add them all together at the same time with a new tank? So, ideally, in a perfect world, you want to get all your tanks roughly around the same size. So, but if you're buying, I mean, granted, like if you're buying a purple tank that's like 3 inches, you of course you can buy something like a sail fin tang that's 5 inches for the same price. So I get, just based on species wise, but in an ideal world, you want to have your tangs being as close to the same size as possible, and you want to add as many of them at the same time as you possibly can, just because it will spread out that aggression. And unfortunately, you can take a 300-gallon tank with a bunch of coral and a bunch of SPS, and you can add 10 tangs at the same size, and there's usually always one jerk in the group. It's just how it is. There's always one tang. For me, it's Big Blue. Big Blue, if you guys remember, I got that from Scott from Roscoe's Reef when he shut down his tank. It's a powder blue tang. He's the jerk of the tank. So there's always one tang in a tank that usually causes problems. So it's best to get them all at the same size. So if one does kind of go rogue, the other ones aren't going to necessarily get beat up unless they start gaining up on each other. So that is usually the safer bet. Now, granted, financially and quarantine wise, and all the things that we put into putting fish into our tank, it's unlikely. 99% of people aren't going to buy 10 tangs at one time, especially now, and then quarantine them all, get them all through quarantine, and then add them to the tank at the same time. That's pretty unrealistic, and that's just because the financial burden of 10 tangs, even if you're buying Scopus tang, which is like one of the cheapest tangs you can get, it's still gonna be pretty significant. So I'm getting over a cold, so my voice, I'm just, my bro jug here, bro container. So I guess let's just go back to it. So let's say you bought a bunch of small ones and a bunch of larger ones, and you haven't bought them all the same size. So I would add the smaller ones first, allowing them to establish some territory, some places to hide. They can kind of search out the tank and be like, hey, this is a cool place to hide. Like my hippo tangs, I have 3 of them in the tank, 2 smaller ones that tend to get picked on by the larger one, but they can slide into the rock where the larger one can. So giving the smaller tangs an opportunity to find a place to chill out and to hide, and then add the larger ones at the same time, is probably your safest bet. Because if you add the larger ones first, they're going to build up their territories, and they'll be like, who's this new joker? He's half my size. I'm going to kill him. So just food for thought on that. Let me see if I can back up here. Okay, where we go. I have 3 small yellow tangs, 1.5 inches in one tank, and 3 in a 3-inch Scopus in another tank, but adding them into a 310 gallons. Should I put the small ones in first or all together? So a 3-inch Scopus. Okay, one thing about Scopus tangs is I've had a lot of them just because of frag system in general. Scopus tangs are pretty docile. I've never had one be a jerk. I've never had one beat up on any other fish. but then again, I've always had other fish in the tank to kind of maybe even out the aggression. So I would just add them all at the same time. It's a 310 gallon tank. You're what? You said you had three small yellows at 1.5 inches. Man, that's a small fish. I'm interested. How much did you? Are you in the United States? And I'm just kind of interested in what you spent, if you don't mind sharing, or what you spent on a 1.5 inch yellow tank. I didn't know that's super small. What is that? That's a small ass fish. I don't think I've ever had a 1.5 inch. That's a that's a small ass fish. That's a little bitty. Oh, you can't see it. That's a little bitty. Damn. Um, how did you get a 1.5 inch tank? Yes, I got them from. I'm waiting for that answer. I've never even seen a tank that small. I'm assuming they're captive bred. Yeah. So, anyways, I would add all of them at the same time. I mean, it's a 310 gallon tank. You're looking at what 8 foot worth of swimming room by probably 2 foot wide, something like that. Something similar to the 300 I have here. And yeah, you're gonna be fine. I got them from Biota. Okay, I don't know what that is. I guess I could look it up. Is that like a breeder or something? But yeah, you're gonna be fine. You can add all those fish at the same time. Mm-mm. And I highly doubt the Scopus tank is going to do anything. He might bat him around a little bit, but I mean, he's a three. I mean, I wouldn't assume he's not going to be old enough to be too aggressive, anyways. Not a question, just a comment. I had a bad algae issue, hair algae and bryopsis. I was amazed how well fluconazole worked. Nothing else in my tank was affected, but algae would disappeared. Yeah, I've used it before on clients' tanks. I had who's it was? I think it was a Mike Lemming back in the day. He used it and was really good with it. Had no issues with it. I guess the only concern is with that is once you kill the algae, all those nutrients are still in the tank. I mean, you can manually remove as much of that algae as you want, but if you let any of that stay in there and rot again, just say like it dies, right, and you don't pull it out, all those nutrients are going to go back into the system and could potentially start growing algae again. So that's the only downside to any kind of chemical treatment when it comes to destroying algae. The best way to deal with algae is just manually remove it. If you have like stringy hair algae, manually remove it or have predators. That's usually the easiest option when it comes to getting rid of the algae because you're going to get rid of the nutrients. If you just let it stay in there and die and kind of wilt away, that just gets recycled in the tank and then is a potential issue later on. Okay, so it is a captive bred program. Okay, cool. Now did you 106 I'm sorry, there's two screens here, so the comment of the price comes up before the rest of you guys can see it, so I apologize. $165 each. Is that good for yellow tang? I mean, for a 1.5. Now, was that the only size that you had an option to buy when it came to the fish there? Did you have an option to buy like a 3 inch or a 5 inch yellow tang, or did they just leave it specifically to like the 1.5 inch? I'll be interested to know. 160. Okay. Oh man. I'm just gonna say this because I've been here for quite a while, and I want to say quite a while. I don't want to be that guy, but so when I was importing fish and selling fish, I think 5 or 6 years ago, you can buy a 5 inch yellow tang for $15 wholesale, and then we would sell it for like $35. I can't believe that a 1.5 is 165. Man, like if you want to be in this hobby, you better be rich or something, man. Man, I'm waiting for your comment to come through here and see. Let's see. Yeah, I looked up a Biota. Am I saying that right? They have a lot of captive bred fish. They are known for their captive bred yellow tangs. Yes, they were out of the 2.5 ones. Okay. What was the price point on the 2.5, if you don't mind me asking? I'm actually going to look them up when we get off the stream here, just because I'm interested in the captive bred stuff. I think that's pretty cool. You must have to have a lot of patience for that kind of stuff. That's expensive. Remember when yellow tangs were about $40? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. Reef keeper. Yeah. Like we were selling them for $35-$40. Get them wholesale for $15-$20, depending on where you are. If you bought more of them, say you bought like, 10 of them, right? You get them for a couple dollars less each. That's crazy. I know I went to Petco 3 or 4 weeks ago. They had a purple tang there. There wasn't even a price. There wasn't even a price. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I won't even want to know. Jeez. But somebody must have bought it because I went back to the other day. Well, a few days later. I mean, that's kind of a while. So maybe like a week and a half later. So to send some Chato over there, and it was gone. So somebody either died or somebody bought it. Man, I wouldn't even want to know. Whew. What do you want to know? Let's see here. I wonder if the pricing will go down when Hawaii opens back up. Well, let's just look at everything as a whole here. Let's look at the last 3 years of everything. So all these stores closed, the prices went up, they opened back up. Did the prices go down anywhere? Nope. You know why? Because people are so used to charging that much. Why do they got to bring it down? People are going to pay for it. Why bring it down? So I highly doubt the prices will go down just because people are greedy and they want their money. Fortunately, but my prices on the website are always the same. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting bent over with some of these deals, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm at my first yellow Tang was $19.99 at Petco. I think I bought my first clownfish because my clownfish was my very first fish for my Tang. I think they were like $12. Yeah, it's gonna be $12, like 50% off on one other one. So it was crazy how cheap they were. I guess I can do my plug here. You guys can see. I guess I can do my plug. How long have I been talking for? It doesn't say. 25 minutes. So the month of December or month of November, we are doing. Well, I'm doing. I act like I have any. I act like I have employees and shit. It's 25% off on the entire website, everything, and just use the code 25% off at checkout. By default, if you buy 4 3D printed items, the automatic discount is buy 3 get 1 free. So you can either see what saves you more money. So let's say you buy 4 items, you can either put in the 25% off code, or you can leave the buy 3 get 1 free and just kind of see what saves you more money. Whatever you want to do. But that 25% off is for everything for this month only, and I'll probably do something next month because it's the holiday. You guys know I always kind of do stuff around this time of year. I bought my 5-inch original yellow from Hawaii for $250. Is that good? I mean, is that good? I mean, when did you buy it? I still like $250 is still a lot for a fish. $250 for medium size. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't think at this point the fish that I get for the 300 are usually from subscribers or people locally are like, hey, I need to rehome this fish. Do you want to take it? So that's how I've been getting a lot of fish for the 300 because I'm not spending that money. I'm complaining about an $84 box of salt. You think I'm going to go out and buy a multiple $100 fish just to put it in there and have Big Blue beat the crap out of it? I don't think so. Nope. I think so. Doubt it, Gabe. Once they are getting expensive prices, I doubt they'll come down for that. Man, Reef Keeper, get out of my head, dude. We're on the same page here. Just like everything else that's been happening over the last 3 years. If the prices are high and they can get away with it, they're not going to bring it down. They're just not going to go down. It's just the way it is. Let me see. Oh man, my camera's being weird. Anyways, yeah, this thing like follows me around. I don't know how I feel about it yet. And if I like put my hand here, it like stops following me around. And then if I do it again, it then starts following me around. It's kind of cool. Shout out. It works out pretty good. Let's see here. 2005, bought at for $30, man. My voice is already taking a shit, guys. I'm sorry about that. Before the Hawaii ban, somewhere I want to go? I want to go to Hawaii. I have never been there. I am looking to go to PANS, which is a BJJ tournament in Florida in March. I've never been to Florida. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I know a lot of you guys live down there. I'd be interested. I've never been to Florida. I heard you guys. I want to have. Is it alligator? It's not crocodile. Crocodile is an assault. I want alligator. I want a deep fried alligator bites. I don't know why. I just every time I see one, I just want to eat one. It's kind of weird, I know, but so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fight in PANS for BJJ, and then I'm gonna eat alligator. That's what I'm gonna do in Florida. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know how that turns out. What's up? I sent a couple people your way looking for 3D printed. I will call you back. I'm looking for 3D printed CO2 attachments with skimmer. Appreciate that, Reef Keeper. I think I just hit 140 different models of the skimmer on the CO2 attachment. So crazy. Like there's new models coming in every week. People are always sending in new models, and I'm trying to update them as much as possible. It's a little bit of a process to make them. And for those of you who are outside the United States, you can buy some of my 3D printed items. You can buy the CO2 attachments. For example, if you see one on the website and it's not on my eBay store, just message me. I'll add it on there because I haven't always updated the eBay store. eBay has the worst shipping price that I've ever seen in my entire life. So for those of you who are outside the United States, I am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart that they're charging like $40 to ship outside the United States. I've been going back and forth with them for like 6 months, and I can't get it down, and it's a huge problem. So you can still get the attachment from me. You got to get through my eBay store, and the shipping is probably going to be ridiculous. And I apologize. I mean, there's literally nothing I can do about it. So let's see here. I just got my coral shipment from you last week. One of the corals was wrong, but I'm okay with it. What one was it? One of them was a frog spawn. I got looks healthy, but and is out, but almost white. What one? Hit me up an email. What did I send you wrong? I sent like 10 orders last week. Sometimes I misread, and I usually give people store credit or refund if I mess it up. So just email me with the order number. Let me know what I messed up on. With the frog spawn, if you put it in your tank and it turns white, remember my frog spawn are at like 200-ish par in my frag tank because I don't like to give them too much light because a lot of people don't have a lot of light in their tank when it comes to like that kind of coral. So if you put it too high in your tank and it starts getting white, immediately put it down to the sand bed or put it in a corner where there's not a lot of light, especially after shipping because they're already stressed out from shipping in general. But hit me up via email with your order number. Let me know what you missed. Send me pictures. And I mean, I'm pretty good. I'm actually dealing with UPS right now. I'm having a huge problem with people taking responsibility for their mistakes. If I send out a core order and it's like $500 and the UPS driver decides to punt the damn thing across, the parking lot and rip it open and destroy it and then give me a hard time trying to refund me, it's a huge pain. It's very frustrating. But I always end up giving the customer, and it looks like unless I hear back from UPS, I'm going to end up giving the customer like a $470 store credit, just because of how ridiculous that is. Which personally, I don't like taking the hit. There's a couple things I don't like. I don't like losing the money for one, but I really don't like the corals dying because of a box being abused during transit. There's something about it that just irks me, man. It's like I mean, I have the fragile stickers. I know it doesn't mean anything. They don't really care, but man, like it's literally a box of coral and it just gets destroyed and then the corals die and then not only the customer's disappointed, they get the store credit, so they're getting the money back, but then I lose out on all that and then all that coral died for just because somebody wanted to be a jerk. So it's just frustrating. So that's me venting. Did I miss something? I must have missed. I don't know what you're talking about. Ask what? I don't see. I'm from there, and I just recently moved to West Virginia 2.5 years ago. New Orleans for Gators. New Orleans for Gators. Okay. Well, I thought there was a Gators in Florida too. Like, doesn't everything bad with like giant weird monsters happen in Florida? I'm assuming Gators are there too. Well, either way, I gotta find either I'm gonna order it or I'm gonna find a restaurant around here. I gotta have deep fried gator taters, something, whatever you guys call them. I've been watching this guy make this stuff on YouTube, and I don't know, man. Gator is good. Yeah, Gabe, you live in Florida, or unless you moved recently. I think you said you moved. You need to make shades for the Hydra 150s. Listen, I can make whatever you want, but I can't make a light shade for a light that I don't have here. I just can't do it. Like, there's a lot of things that I can do if you send me pictures of your sump and dimensions and stuff like that. But if you need a shade for a light, I need the light. There's absolutely no way around it. I can't build it. Like, it has to snap in. There's going to be a little bit of an indent that has to go into a groove. There has to be. I need the light here pretty much. So, if you want me to make you one, send me the light. It'll take like a week. So if you're just setting up the tank and you don't need the light right away, hit me up. You can send me the light and we'll make it happen. I know a few spots if you're coming around my way. Where are you? You're Tampa? Where are you? I'll have to look up and see where the Pans is. But what's up, Q-Ball Reef? What's going on? Yeah, so let me know where you are. Hit me up. You can either email or whatever. Email is probably the best way, or you can hit me up on the website chat. Let me message. Is that going through? Sorry, my buddies hit me up. Just want to make sure we're good. All right, cool. All right, let's see here. Thanks for all the videos and advice. Love this hobby. Help get my mind off work. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. So with me being gone for the last month, obviously I haven't done any shorts. I haven't done any videos. It's just being out of the loop. So we're gonna focus on do our live stream every Wednesday, and I'm gonna try to do at least one or two other videos outside of that. Probably do a short or so. Try to keep the community post going. The way of YouTube is if you're not posting, you're not doing things, you're not really moving forward. But I do appreciate everybody who supported the channel over the last couple months with me being kind of MIA. Ton of support, especially with the world going taking a crap. The fact you guys are still reaching out is I'm pretty thankful for that. Oh, excuse me. Can you chat about pH levels? Sure. What do you want to know, David? Ask a question. Appreciate it. Do you want me to just talk about pH in general, or do you have a specific question? Because there's a bunch of different avenues of pH. If you have a specific question, I'll be happy to answer that for you. Let's see here. And yeah, we can chat about it, David. Just let me know what you want to know. I'm no expert, but I'll do my best. I shipped out a box and had a leaker. I had never left UPS, and they ripped it open and left it outside. I could have picked it back up, lost the entire box. Shake my head. Listen, so I've shipped probably. I'm about to hit 10,000 orders on the website, and I've shipped probably half of those coral. Maybe I mean depends. Probably a little bit more than half, given the fact that I 3D printing is relatively new for the business. So if you guys keep wondering why my eyes are like freaking out, it's because I have serious dry eyes, man. I gotta drink some more water. I just got back from training. I'm super dry. But anyways, I don't even know what I was talking about. Basically, yeah. So I think what I'm basically going to get into is I've shipped out so many orders, and it's probably one in every 100 orders I have a problem. So it's not very common. Like I'm not getting delays. I'm not having any issues because I'm paying for the more expensive being delivered before 10 a.m. or being delivered for before noon. So I'm paying that extra money. So I'm getting a little bit better service. But when I was doing next day air saver, that was a disaster, man. Like people weren't getting their corals to like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Are you kidding me? That's too long, man. That's too long. Like why are we doing this? So getting rid of that and paying for the additional shipping, for the quicker shipping has been better. So it's like 1 out of 100 orders they have a problem, and usually it's the $500 core order. It's never the the $99 SPS order, right? It's never that one that's the problem. It's always the expensive one. It's always the heavy one. It's just a running theme. So again, it's 1 out of 100, but it's still I don't know, man. It's a little frustrating. I guess there's no reason to kind of grouch or bitch about things that you can't really do anything about. But like the price of salt, but it is what it is. Thank you for your service too, as we reflect on this upcoming Veterans Day. Thank you, appreciate that, David. Am I doing anything for Veterans Day? What is that? I know what day is that? Probably not going to do anything. Let's see what day that is. Oh, I'm going to be going to a birthday party on that day. So no, I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy. But and I can't remember the last time I went out for a free meal. I know that like not Wendy's, like what Applebee's and stuff like that, they have like the free meal. I haven't done that probably since early 20s, and I'm old as shit. I'm gonna be 37 soon. So yeah, it feels weird. I don't want to be that dude out there like trying to get a handout. I know a lot of people do that stuff, and trust me, I'm not judging you or anything. I just feel weird going out like, hey, here's my disabled veterans card, give me free food. I just feel like it doesn't sit right with me. But hey, if you want to do it up. If you go to Brevard County, Cocoa Beach area, go out towards South John's, best a gator tail around Bud and his hush puppies. Man, I could eat the ass out of a hush puppy right now, man. I haven't had those in forever. Man, when I was down in I think the last time I had those was like Fort Knox in Kentucky. I think that was the last time I had that. Yeah, man, has it been that long? So yeah, when I get to Florida, that's on my to-do list. Obviously, I got competing is gonna be pretty overwhelming, especially that level of competitors. But I'm definitely looking for gator. Just listen, just give me a live one. We'll figure this out. Like, I mean, if I can butcher a deer and cook a deer, I think I could be fine. Just give me a gator on the side of the road or whatever. We'll go from there. How do you maintain proper levels of? Let me see down here. I'll come back up in a second, cue ball. Of what? Of pH? Let me get back to that. Let's answer cue ball first. What media are you using in your calcium reactor? The extra coarse stuff, it's in a clear plastic can. It's on beef bulk reef supply. I don't remember. Is I don't remember the name off the top of my head. It's the extra core stuff. It's like it's not the fancy stuff anymore. It's the extra cores, and it's probably one of like three different medias that they have on there. So I can try to find it if you really want to know the exact name. I do have a couple videos on it. Caribbean Sea. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I do have a couple videos on it as well. So how do you keep proper levels of pH? Is that what you mean, David? I have low pH and had a few fish, juvenile angel, naso, and small clown die gasping for air, but gem tang has lived. So it's not the pH. So pH is determined by your alkalinity, so the acidic level in your tank, as well as the amount of CO2. So, right. So, if your fish are gasping for air, the best thing you can do just to eliminate that in general is have a skimmer for one. A skimmer is going to be helpful, but also take your power heads and move them towards the surface. So, obviously, so you're not going to splash water out of the tank, but at least get the surface agitation. That's going to allow gas exchange, get all that stuff out of the tank, and then you'll be able to replace it with oxygen, and then your fish will be fine with that. If you have a good sized skimmer, you don't even need to do the surface agitation, but it's always beneficial to kind of break up the oily substances and all the stuff that collects at the top of the tank. It's good to have that either way. So that will help with your pH, because once you get all that CO2 out of there, that built up CO2, that will help raise your pH. The pH isn't killing your fish, and it would have to be really extremely low to kill fish. You said it was at what, 7.4, now up to 7.7. That's not low enough to kill the fish. I think maybe you didn't have enough. Man, I'm losing my damn voice. Give me a second, guys. It's like it's not working. Man, I would have been talking for what? Yeah, about 40 minutes. So 7.4 is not low enough to kill the fish. It's just not. So I think you didn't have enough oxygen. Maybe you're I don't know. You didn't say you had a skimmer or not. You can mention that. Let me know if you have a skimmer. But power heads to the surface, break that stuff up. You'll be able to get the gas exchange, and that will help the fish. Again, CO2. If you really want to, you can add a wooden air stone to your sump, to make sure it's not near the return pump. But you can add oxygen that way. But I think surface agitation and a good skimmer, you shouldn't have any issues with gas exchange or with your oxygen levels in the tank. But 7.4 is really not horribly low. It's not ideal, of course. A lot of us want to be at that 8.0, but I mean, my tank sits at like, I'm definitely under 8.0 if I don't use my CO2 scrubber, just because it's in the basement. I have a calcium reactor. It's just is what it is. So and like Gabe said as well, you can open up a window. Good gas exchange will be helpful. You can plumb this is one thing that I really like to do. I did before they started spraying chemicals around my house, is I used to plumb my skimmer. I get the hard PVC pipe, or not pipe. It's like I guess it's like PVC pipe. It's kind of flexible, but I'd run that all the way outside, put a carbon filter on. I do sell a carbon filter, but you can make your own if you want, and put that at the end there, so you're not sucking in bugs and all sorts of critters, and just pump fresh air into your pump of your skimmer. Now it will kind of mess with the level depending on how far the line is that you're pulling air in, but you can pull in that fresh air. That will help add oxygen to the tank. It'd be good to go. Plus elevate your pH. It's relatively easy and cheap. Or you can go the CO2 reactor wise, where you can add the recirculating ring that I have. Either way, all those things will work. Just kind of do them all. I mean, something's going to work for you. What's a good fish to add to my tank? 125 gallon fish only with just a gem tang now, 4 inches, healthy and eats well. Well, David, really kind of comes down to what you like. Me personally, if I had a fish only tank, I like the triggers. Those are pretty cool. I like the way they swim. Big angelfish fan. Even getting something like a really cool eel. Just don't get anything too big because they'll eat all your damn fish. But if that's fed a fish only tank, I'd kind of get fish like that, angels, triggers, and puffers. I think it's a puffer. The one that eats all the snails and stuff. I think it's a puffer. But I like those types of fish. They're kind of stuff you can't really get away with in a reef tank. So consider that. But if you are more of a reef tank type of fish goer, tangs. Did you mention how big the tank was? I don't think it's 120. Yeah, 125 gallon. Yeah, because Travis, you can't remember things you just read. So It's 125 gallons, so I'd kind of stay away from like the big Berthas, like the Flamingi tangs, any kind of tang that's going to get about 2 foot long. Stay away for that. And then I know depending on the angelfish, they can get extremely large as well. So just do your research on that. Don't get anything that's going to get too big. And if you like a lot of fish, then focus on smaller fish that just don't get that big, that stay under 5 inches, and then you can get more of them and you can have that activity. But if you like kind of the meat eater, kind of aggressive looking fish, just trying to find ones that are not going to, bust the seams of your tank when they start growing out. So thank you so much. I have a skimmer and I have adjusted my power heads to break the surface. Cool. Good. So that should work out pretty well for you. And like I said, if you want to pull fresh air in, that's also a very cheap. You can go down to Home Depot, buy the tubing, all that kind of stuff. If you want to get the air filter, our carbon filter, I do have it on the website. I think it's like $10 or something like that. Okay. So, yep. I'm just distracted. Sorry, guys. Let's go ahead and see here. I'll keep trying, I guess, to do calc washer works. Don't get below 8.1 in my tank unless I have AC on. Your AC affects your pH. I run AC down in the basement. I haven't had any issues with that. I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess AC, I guess it could to a certain extent if you're recirculating the same air over and over again. I guess it could. And yeah, calc washer is a good alternative as well. Just be careful, David. If you were going to use something like calc washer, make sure you have some kind of demand for that extra alkalinity. So like coralline algae, you're not going to have corals in your tank because it's a fish only. So I wouldn't start using anything like calc washer until you have coralline algae starting to grow. That way you can consume some of that calc that's being added to the tank just for the sake of not overdosing or having to go too high alkalinity wise. So outside of that, I think we're pretty good. We're like 46 minutes in. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to add them. Again, we're going to be back next week. I say we, man, that's such a weird thing to say. I will be back next week on Wednesday. We'll do 9 o'clock. I get out of training at about 8 o'clock, so I can get home, grab a shower real quick, do my hair, and kind of get ready for the live stream. So I will we'll just plan on doing every Wednesday. I'm gonna try to get another video out for you guys this week. Got to give you a fish room update, the Oscar update for sure. He's his hole in the head's gone. He's probably grown like 2 inches. I moved his tank. We added an additional Kessel light. I have some plants growing in there. So he turned out really well. That rescue Oscar, who almost didn't make it, but now he's doing pretty good, and he's a little bit of a biter at this point. I'm going to have to check out your carbon filter. I made a janky one, piss cup with holes drilled in it, floss carbon. Yeah, can I add a link? Let me just see if I can find it. I'll try to find you a link because there's like a ton of stuff on there. Let me look right here. Carbon filter. Yeah, it's right here. I have one for a maxi jet too. I didn't remember. See, I made so many different things that I don't even remember what the heck I made. So I'm going to send this link. I don't know if that works for you. If it does, let me know. But yeah, so it's made for a 1/2 inch barb or tubing, like inner diameter tubing, and it pulls it off. You can put, depending on the size of your carbon, if you want to put mesh in there, you can, or something to hold it. Like if you're using 0.08 carbon. But if you're going to use that, probably use like some of the bigger carbon. That way it doesn't get, it doesn't fall out of the holes. And then the lid clicks on there, and then you just attach it, and it works great. Change it out every couple months. And I've used it up until the point I transitioned to my CO2 attachment, and it was fine. So, yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, yeah. So if you guys want to support the channel, head over there. Of course, you guys know the deals. I'm gonna let you go because I think we're out of questions, and my voice is not doing that great. So, pretty successful live stream. Appreciate everybody here. We were like 30 people, which isn't too bad, given that I've been gone for live streams for like the last year. So I'll have some more videos out for you this week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. All right, peace.